When traders on WallStreetBets go all in, they usually lose everything. Even breaking even is extremely rare, yet alone making a huge gain. Now what if I told you there is a trader who went all in continuously for the past month, and not only was he profitable, he made a whopping $100,000 overnight and $220,000 in that same week, essentially making more than half in just a week of what he made in the past 3 years. It is my honor to present to you a trader who goes by the name of Liquidated AF, and being an avid poker player, it shouldn't come as a surprise that his first post was about 0 days till expiry options. It was posted on September the 15th when he made $14,550 from just 2.6k with 0 days till expiry Tesla puts. He just loves being a bear, and that's why he obviously wasn't going to stop. Exactly 1 week after that initial gain, he bought $8,000 worth of Tesla puts with an expiration date on September the 22nd and striking prices at $260 and $257.50. The $8,135 quickly turned into $51,112, which means he made more than $40,000 in a week just by clicking buttons on his phone. Riding high on his success, he wanted to stay true to his gambling nature, which is why almost 1 week later he bought 201 day till expiry meta puts with a striking price at $292.50. He went in with $20,800, basically half of what he made last week, going for a Lambo or bankruptcy, no in between. And although meta actually closed lower the next day, at open it looked like it was going to go straight up. And because Liquidated AF is just a normal WallStreetBets user, he had no other choice but to quickly sell puts at open and buy calls to try and make back some of the losses. Unfortunately though, the stock then just continuously went down, and I guess it's safe to say that his Lambo was reprocessed. Now I'm not going to reveal his next post just yet, but needless to say, on that meta play he lost the whole 20k, so staying true to his gambling nature, he just needed to make up his losses with his guaranteed play. Altogether till this point he made about $53,000 and lost about $20,000, which means he was left with around $30,000. Now what do you think he did? If this wasn't WallStreetBets, I'd even say he bought some shares or maybe some long dated options. But no, this is WallStreetBets and he's an active member of this community, so he went almost all in on 3 days till expiry spy call options with a striking price at $430. Once again he was locked in, house or homeless this Friday. After quickly inspecting the chart, we can see that SPY actually went up, but only by 0.69%. So did he make money? Well, shortly after he opened the trade he was already down by 20%, but he was still confident that his last $30,000 would turn to 60k by Friday. Now to my absolute surprise, he just about broke even and even made 5% in profit because he knew this squeeze was going to happen. In reality that initial position alone wouldn't make him money, but because he was so insane or confident in himself, you can be the judge of that, he bought more at open, increasing his position to $38,000, and then he sold for $45,400 on Friday. Because he's a gambler at heart, he just couldn't stop. And on the very next Monday he went all in with $26,062 on 166 Tesla puts expiring in 4 days, or on Friday with a striking price at $250, as he thought Tesla would hit $240 by the end of the week. The next day the stock jumped up by 1.5%, which is why his position halved in value, but he wasn't going to let the haters win. So he did the only thing possible and doubled down with 85 Tesla puts with a striking price at $260. Now he was truly all in with $47,482. Luckily he was right. The stock started falling and his puts started printing. On Thursday he was already up by 6.8k, and on Friday he closed the position for a $15,000 gain. Now that he had more than 60k to spare, he could once again do his favorite thing, go all in. On this week's Monday he bought $51,000 worth of Nvidia puts expiring on Friday and a striking price at $440. He had quite simple reasoning for this play. Puts have gotten him paid last 3 weeks, so let's go for the fourth, house or homeless. And with this play he was just spot on. From Monday till Friday the stock dropped by around 8%, but because on Tuesday he was already up by more than $100,000, he decided to secure his gains, essentially making more than $100,000 overnight. In perfect hindsight, he could have made more if he waited until Friday, but as we all know, if it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell. By now you might have noticed that he likes to buy options at the beginning of the week with an expiration day on Friday, and because it was still Tuesday, he still had time to make this week the most profitable week of his life, which is why instead of one additional play he made two. Puts on LLY with a striking price at $600 and puts on Enphase with a striking price at $125, all of them expiring next week. After just 2 days he was up on these two plays by a lot. He spent $30,000 on his LLY play and now it was worth $41,030. Now his Enphase play was a little bit different than what he firstly said he was going to buy, because instead of it expiring next week, it had an expiration date on this Friday, which means he bought them just 3 days till expiry, and puts had a striking price at $127 instead of $125. Nevertheless, he was up by a lot on this play. He spent just $6,090 on it and his position was on Thursday worth $33,600. But this was not the end. There was still 1 day left until the end of the week, and holding until that day paid off massively. His $6,000 in Enphase puts turned into $79,125, his $30,000 in LLY puts turned into $102,150, and if we add these two gains to his Nvidia gain from the start of the week, he made an insanely high $245,465 in just a week. Sadly though, he also made a loss on Netflix, as he's not always right, and that brought his profits down to around 220k for the week. Anyway, for his next play he opened up Tesla calls with a striking price at $220. This position dropped by a bit, but he just decided to buy more. Now we already know that he usually opens positions on Monday and closes them on Friday unless he makes profit very early. He also likes to go all in into options, preferably puts expiring in 5 days. But what else? Well, he doesn't even use charts. Instead, he trades looking at option prices and the Greeks. For example, when he was buying LLY puts, they were cheap given how likely it can go under $600 and the profit potential was there. So once again, he doesn't use charts. He just scans stock price and option prices in one watch list. Having that said, he also thinks inversing the majority will make you money. And honestly, it's still completely unbelievable to me that by mostly going all in and buying 5 days till expiry options, he's somehow up every year for the past 3 years, and even netted 400k in the last 3 years. Now when you think about it, he made more than half of that in just 1 week. Having that said, he also has a good tech job. Anyways, he's going all in one trade next week, $1 million gain coming. And if you want to see how this trader got to the peak of Wall Street Bets, click on the video that just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe, and if you have any questions or recommendations, leave them in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.